Hi and welcome to my channel. Nice of you to visit me for this flight today. The flight for today will be from Oslo, Gardermoen to Kiev. The flight will take approximately 2 hours and 35 minutes. As you can see, I'm flying the Norwegian 737-800. I will start the aircraft from total darkness, so I can give you a tutorial of how to set the aircraft up properly for the flight. I'm using the PMDG 737-800. So welcome, and I'll see you in the cockpit. So now, as you can see, we're in the cockpit, and it's cold and dark, and I will show you how to get it started and prepare for the flight, as I told you earlier. So the first thing I would like to do is to turn on the battery switch. There. So all the nice fancy lights will turn on. And then you can see the ground power says available. I'm gonna show you. As you can see right here, here is the power unit that's providing power when the APU is not started. So I will click on that, and now we have power in the cockpit. So I will be using FS2crew. So I'm gonna start so I can have my first officer going through a couple of things. So here is the display for the FS2crew. I'm just gonna set it up right here.
Let's start setting up.
Okay.
So I'm using the UK crew region. You can choose whatever you want, like AU, US female, if you come from Germany, etc, etc. But I'm gonna stick with the UK. For the flight today, I will program the FMC. Here's the FMC, or FMS. Somebody says FMC, Flight Management Computer, and somebody else says FMS for Flight Management System. It doesn't matter. So the first thing I would like to do is set the IRSs to nav and wait till it says align. There we go. It will take approximately 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to find where we are. Today we got pretty nice weather, 22 degrees. So it will be a nice flight from Oslo. I heard the 80s before, and it's 8 knots winds, so it's pretty calm here. As you can see now, the FMC has illuminated a little bit on this display here. That means that the IRS has found our position. As you can see, enter IRS position. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna press the next page, then take the first one, GPS L. So it goes down here. Then I'm gonna press here, and you see all this. So now the aircraft has found our position. So now we're ready to put some information into the FMS. So where are we going? We are going from Oslo, Echo November Golf Mike, to Kiev. It's Uniform Kilo Bravo Bravo. Our flight number today will be Delta Yankee 1520. And the runway in use, I'm gonna listen to the 80s, and then I will find out which runway we shall use today. So I will just find the 80s frequency, 127.15. See if we can hear anything.
variable between 200 and 330
So here we have the ATC.
degrees. Cavalcade. Temperature 2 dew point 10. QNH 1014. No SIG. Acknowledge information. Echo at first contact. This is Oslo Gardermoen. Information. Echo at time 1120. Spec. ILS. Approach. Runway 19 left and 19 right. In use. Caution. Slippery. Taxiway and exits. Braking action. Good. Transition level 80. Wind 260 degrees 4 knots. Variable between 200 and 330 degrees. Cavalcade. Temperature 2 dew point 10. QNH 1014. No SIG.
Okay, so there you have the ATIS from Oslo Gardermoen. It's an information echo right now, and QNH 1014. So I'm gonna put in QNH 1014. And the departure runway, as you can see here, I'm going to show you where I am. I'm here. So our departure runway will be 19 left. So I will put in runway 19 left here. And then I'm going to press the next page. You can see here that it's the first page of 2. So next page, I think I'm going to cheat a little bit. So I'm going to press here so I can use the keyboard to enter the waypoints for our flight. So I'm just gonna enter them.
I'm back from the walk around, everything looks good.
Okay, thank you. That was the first officer telling me that he's done a walk around the airplane, and as he said, it looks good, so that's great. So, and there we have it. I'm gonna execute. Then I'm gonna get into the fuel page, and I'm gonna enter.
Hi, Captain. May we start boarding now?
Yes.
Great.
So the people are gonna go into the plane and board. So we have about 20 minutes for entering the last few steps. So I'm gonna put 8,500 kilos of fuel. So like that, and we will have a full airplane today with a ground weight with 70.9. So I'm gonna use press the perf init page, and then I'm gonna put 70.9 here. I get a zero fuel weight of 62.3, and I would like the reserves to be 2.2, and the cost index will be 1.5. As you can see here, the maximum altitude or flight level I can fly today will be flight level 365. So I'm gonna choose flight level 350. There we go. I'm gonna go and check the weather upper, and we will have approximately 308 and 48 knots. I'm gonna put it right there.
Flight level 350 set.
And the E7 deviation, it's a little bit hard to explain how to calculate that, but I'm just gonna put it in. It's gonna be, let's see here, 7, it will be 9 degrees, and the trans altitude will be 7,000. And then I'm gonna click execute. then one limit. Because we are pretty heavy today, I will use the normal acceleration, no derate today. I will use flaps 5, and the trim will be 5.07. So I'm gonna put in 5.07, like that. And then I'm gonna put in a departure. So I will click the 19 left runway, and our first waypoint is massive, so it will be massive for Charlie departure. As you can see here, here is the departure. So I'm gonna click execute, like that. And then I'm going to go to route, then takeoff, and here is the speeds when we are rolling down the runway. So V1 will be 142, VR would be 155, and V2 will be 152. I'm just gonna change one bit here. I'm gonna put 175 knots instead of 230 because the aircraft can't accelerate that quickly.
Glide slow. Pull up.
So now the first officer is just going through all the safety things in the aircraft. So as you can see here,
terrain. Pull up.
He's going through the ground proximity
too low. Terrain.
Warning system.
Too low.
It's like a warning for
Too
traffic,
low.
and
Too low.
if you're not have the gear down when
Light
I'm going to
slow.
land, and so on.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Let's bring up there.
500.
So I'm just gonna
400.
make a quick look and
300.
see what runway is in
200.
use in Kiev.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain.
Oh, I can see here that it's 25 degrees. It's
Terrain.
very
Pull
calm,
up.
only 4 meters per second, so it's almost calm. And we will likely land on the runway 36 right. So I'm gonna enter 36 right. And execute. And we're gonna use Modna transition. And execute. So now the FMC is totally ready for the flight. So now I'm gonna talk to the approach on Vatsim because there's no tower available at the moment. And hopefully the approach will give me the correct departure, as I told you earlier, on runway 19 left and massive for Charlie departure. So hopefully I'm right. Let's see here. I'm gonna put the approach frequency 120.45. 120.45. Oslo approach, good afternoon, North Shuttle 1520 with you with Echo, request clearance.
North Shuttle 1520, clear to destination via Massive for Charlie departure, 19 left, scope 4274.
Clear to Kiev S5 via Massive 4 Charlie departure runway 19 left and squawk 4274, North Shuttle 1520.
North Shuttle
I'm ready for the
1520,
checklist.
back correct call for push and start.
I will call for push and start North Shuttle 1520. So, now we've got our clearance, it sounds great. I'm just gonna put the squawk code on the transponder here. So I'm just gonna say to the first officer, set 4274 on the transponder.
Set.
And now he changed the transponder to what I said. As maybe you heard earlier, I'm he told me that he's ready for the checklist, so I'm gonna begin with the checklist. Pre-flight checklist.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Instrument transfer and display switches.
Normal auto.
Window heat.
On.
Pressurization mode selector.
Set.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
And there you have the pre-flight. So now I don't have so much to do for about 4 or 5 minutes, so I'll see you in a bit.
Hello, Captain. The passenger boarding is complete, and when you're ready, I have the load sheet for you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a safe flight.
So the next thing that I will set up is the MCP. So I'm gonna set the course. The first course will be massive on 104. So I'm gonna put in 104 on the course there. Then I'm gonna put in the speed. So I'm gonna go to the takeoff page and put in 152 or V2 speed. Like that. And then I'm gonna put in the
Check.
runway heading, and the runway heading would be 194. So I'm gonna put in 194 on the heading selector. So I'm just gonna do one more thing. So I'm gonna change the altitude to 7,000. So I'm gonna put it here. Like so. And I'm gonna say start the APU.
Starting APU.
So now it's gonna start the APU. If I'm gonna explain the APU, APU it's an external engine. I'm gonna show you right here. You can see right over here, it's the exhaust pipe. It's an engine so we can have some electricity in the aircraft before the engines is running. So I'm just gonna, so it's on, it's gonna go down to about 3.8. Then this light will be illuminated.
Hi,
I will show you
Captain.
in
The
a
cabin
minute.
is ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Yes. And here we go. APU on the bus.
APU going on the bus.
Like so. So now I'm gonna so now I can turn off the ground power. So I'm gonna talk to the ground. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
You can disconnect the external air and GPU now.
Roger that.
So now the guy's outside. As you can see, it turned off. I'm just gonna wait for him to talk to me again. Will take about 2-4 seconds.
Okay, external air and power removed. You're clear to start number 2.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna switch it back. There. So now I'm gonna go to before start procedures. Before start procedures.
Check.
So now the first officer will put the fuel pumps on and the
Check.
hydraulic pumps on.
I'm ready for the checklist.
Closed and locked.
Fuel.
Set.
Passenger signs.
On.
Windows.
Locked.
MCP.
V2 152. Heading 194, altitude 7000.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 142, VR 144, V2 152.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed. Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
So, that was the before start checklist. So now we're ready for engine start. So I'm just gonna tell the first officer start sequence is 2, then 1.
Check.
So I'm just gonna contact the tower and see if I can get clearance for pushback and startup. Oslo approach, North Shuttle 1520, request push and start.
North Shuttle 1520, push and start approved, QNH 1014.
Push and start approved in QNH 1014, North Shuttle 1520. So I'm gonna release the parking brake. So now we're pushing back and I can say start engine number 2. Start engine number 2.
Starting number 2.
Now he will put... Now you can see here that it's warming up, the N2. We're gonna wait till about 25. And then I'm gonna put the fuel. There we go. I'm just gonna wait for him to turn that knob to off.
Starter cutout.
Then I'm gonna say start number 1. Start engine number 1.
Starting number 1.
I'm gonna go and set the parking brake. Just gotta wait till both engines are stabilized. You can see the number 2 engine is stabilized. I'm just gonna wait for the number 1. He will say starter cutout.
Starter cutout.
So now he will change the left pack and the right pack to auto. So they can have some cool air in the back. So I'm gonna say flaps 5. Set flaps 5. Flaps 5.
Check.
It doesn't always understand me, but I think we're getting along pretty well. So I'm just gonna wait till the flaps are out to 5. You can see up here that it's moving. When it's in green state, then it's 5.
Takeoff flaps set.
I'm just gonna wait for the taxi checklist.
I'm ready for the checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Generators.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Isolation valves.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
So that was the taxi checklist, so I'm just gonna ask the tower for taxi clearance. Oslo approach, North Shuttle 1520, request taxi.
North Shuttle 520, taxi Golf Sierra 19 left.
Taxi via Golf and Sierra to runway 19 left, North Shuttle 1520. So now we have our taxi clearance. I'm gonna begin our taxi. Clear on the left.
Clear on the right.
Release the parking brake. And then give a little bit of throttle. Hopefully we will go forward. And I'll put the taxi light on. So we're at the moment taxiing on Golf, and we're gonna turn left onto Sierra. I'm just gonna make a little announcement to the passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is the captain. On behalf of myself and all the crew, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you aboard. We'll be ready to depart in just a few moments, so please sit back, relax and enjoy the service. And as ever, thank you for choosing to fly with us. We know you have a choice, so we certainly appreciate your custom, and we hope you enjoy the flight.
Try to follow the center line. We should try to have the center line a little bit onto our
Yes,
right
okay,
side.
thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Okay, thank you. Because we're sitting a little bit to the left, so a little bit on our right side. I'm gonna go through the next checklist. Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist.
Flaps.
Set.
Stabilizer trim.
5.1 units.
Before takeoff checklist complete. Cabin crew,
North Shuttle
take your seats.
1520, wind from 250 degrees, heading not clear for takeoff 19 left.
Clear for takeoff, runway 19 left, North Shuttle 1520. So, there was our takeoff clearance, so I'm gonna taxi direct straight out to the runway. We don't have to hold, so that's pretty good. And I forgot to mention that earlier. I've pressed the LNAV button. It's a normal procedure if the first waypoint is less than 5 degrees off our heading. If it's not available for it before you have taken off. So for now, the LNAV will be on. So we're gonna slow down a little bit and then turn right. Try to follow the line. As you can see, we came perfect. I'm just gonna tell the first officer to turn on the lights, the strobes and the landing lights. Runway entry procedures.
Check.
So he's gonna turn on the lights, so we're ready to go. So we can check the left, no traffic.
Ready to go.
Check. just gonna put the terrain on. Taxi out so we go into the middle of the runway, hopefully. There we go. So I'm just gonna put the clock on. Then I'm gonna say to the first officer, take off. Take off.
Check.
Gonna put up the engines to 40, as you can see here. And I'm gonna press the invisible toga button. Toga.
Check.
And here we go.
Thrust set.
Check.
$80 knots.
Check.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
So now I'm just gonna try to follow the flight director. I'm gonna select VNAV.
VNAV. Gear up. Lights out.
Check. Set flaps 2. Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Now we're going to turn to the left. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Oslo 1520, air contact, 30,600 feet, continue land level 210, massive.
Climb to flight level 210 and fly direct massive, North Shuttle 1520. So now we... Whoops. So now I got the clearance to climb to flight level 210 and fly direct massive. So I'm gonna put in the command A. There we go. The autopilot is now engaged and I'm gonna put in massive. Then the plane will turn a little bit and I'm gonna set flight level 210. You can see here now the first officer is turning the altitude knob to 21,000 feet or flight level 210.
Flight level 210 set.
Thank you. So now we're on our way. We're at 6,800 feet. Fuel pumps going off.
Transition altitude, altimeters 1013.
Set. So now you can see the wind. We have 16 knots headwind, so it's not too bad. So now it's pretty uneventful. So I will come back in about 5 minutes when we are reaching flight level 210.
Flight level 100.
Check. So there you have it. There is the Gardermoen airport. So now you can see our vertical speed is only 1,000 feet per minute. That's because the airplane is trying to pick up some speed. When it comes a little bit higher, then we're gonna go up to about 2,400 feet per minute. So you can just look at this. See the speed now. Now you can see the vertical speed will increase.
Also to have 1520 leaving control airspace. Unicom X on to date. Have a nice flight and see you next time. Bye bye.
North Shuttle 1520, I will contact Unicom 122.80. Thank you for a great service, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So unfortunately there's no more ATC in the area, so I will turn into Unicom on 122.80. So I'm gonna switch it from standby to active. So now I can change the flight level from 210 to our cruising flight level. That will be 35. Set flight level 350. I'm just gonna turn the heading knob. That's just a precaution
Flight
for
level 350 set.
Check. That's just a precaution for if anything would happen to VNAV and LNAV, so I can fast turn into heading selector. You might wonder why I'm not putting the pink heading selector right on 177. That's because 077, it's not our heading, it's the track. If you can see a little white triangle there, that's our real heading. So our real heading is now 082. That's because the wind is coming a little bit from the behind and the right side, so we need to turn a little bit to the right to maintain the current heading. So that's why. So here we are, flying at flight level 350. We have flown for about 1 hour. We have about 1 hour to go. I will begin my descent in about 34 minutes. So, and I've checked the weather, and it's still 25 degrees and 320 degrees, 5 meters per second of wind. And it's gonna be runway 36 right. So when we get closer, I will bring you up with more information. So from the cockpit again, we're just over Belarus, passing Minsk on our left side. It's pretty hard to see it right now because of all the clouds, but we've flown for about 1 hour and 25 minutes, and we have approximately 110 nautical miles to our top of descent. We have a few things to do before our top of descent, so I'm going to go through them in about 40 nautical miles. So just come back and visit me in the cockpit, and I'll show you how to set up the FMC for the descent. As I told you before, we have just passed Minsk. I'm going to show you the things that we need to do to prepare the aircraft for descent. As you can see here, we have about 60 nautical miles to our descent. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to take up the FMC. And we're going to go to descent page. And you see there's forecast going there. And there you have trans level. We have ESA deviation, Q and H. We're going to put in the ESA deviation. It's pretty hard to tell you how to calculate the ESA deviation. You can find it on the internet, but I'm gonna calculate it pretty quickly here. So the eastern deviation is 9, and the QNH is 1018. And I'm having trouble finding the trans level. The last time I flew from Kiev to Norway, I had a trans level of flight level 120. So I'm gonna go for trans level 120 this time as well. Hopefully that's the correct one. And then you can read here that it says wind. So we're gonna take the wind report. And I'm gonna fill in flight level 300, flight level 200, flight level 100. Oops. It's going to 10,000 feet because I set the trans level to flight level 120. So that's why it says 10,000 instead of flight level.
Flight level 100 set.
Set flight level 350. So he's putting it back to where it was. So we can see here flight level here. I can't say the whole flight level because then he will change it back again. You can see the flight level here. It says wind 281 by 23.
Flight level
so
350
put in,
set.
Put it in right here and put it in there. And we're going to look at flight level here, 20. It's 181 by 16. 181 by 16. And then we're going to go to 10,000. And it says 057 by 12. 057 by 12. And there we go. Then we're going to just click execute. This will help the airplane or the FMC calculate how steep the descent will be and where the airplane should begin its descent. So that's why we're putting in that information. So there's not much here to do before the top of descent. So hope to see you soon. So now we're just about 8 nautical miles from our top of descent, so I'm gonna say to the first officer, set flight level 200. Set flight level 200. I'm gonna set the flight level to 200. Then we're gonna go through the arrival approach briefing.
Flight level 200 set.
I'm just gonna check the decision height. I need to go and find a chart for the airport. So it's only search on Google or anything else to find the runway you are looking for and then find the decision height. So I have it right here. The decision height will be 188 feet. I'm going to put it to 188. Just going to send a message to the passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we've just commenced our descent, so we'd appreciate it if you'd do what we do up here, which is remain in your seat. Thank you.
So we set it to 188. And we will be using flaps 30. And we will not be vectored because there's no ATC, unfortunately, at the airport. So I will have to press a start.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we will be arriving by the ATC assigned start. As for the approach, we can expect an ILS approach into our destination. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. Landing flap will be 30. Auto brake we will use level 2. Engine bleeds will be on. Decision height will be 188 feet. Any questions?
No questions.
Approach brief complete.
So I will have to set the decision height. You can see it right there.
I'm ready for the checklist.
So I've put the decision height here, and we're gonna go through the descent checklist in a bit. So we have commenced our descent to our destination, and I've looked at the weather and it has cleared up, so it's clear skies. The QNH is 1017, so I'm gonna set the QNH, it says 1018 here, and then standard. So I'm gonna set 1017. And
check.
As I told you before, it's runway 36 right in use, so I'm gonna go through the descent checklist. Descent checklist.
Pressurization. Landing altitude 450 feet. Recall. Checked. Auto brake. Level 2. Landing data. VREF 148. Minimums 188 feet. Approach briefing completed. Descent checklist complete.
Check. So, now we've done the descent checklist, we all have to wait, and I can get down to 5 level, or to 10,000. Set altitude 10,000.
Altitude 7,000 set.
I thought I said 7,000, okay. It's fine, I can go to 7,000. All's looking good. A little bit of clouds, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna set the ILS frequency for the runway. You can see it here in init ref, approach reference. ILS runway 36 right, 109.70. So 109. 0.9.70, like that. It's the same on the other side. 0.9.70. So okay. So now we've done that. I will get back to you when we are passing 10,000 feet. Okay, we're now at flight level 14, almost flight level 140. And we're flying through a little bit of clouds here. Like 1 minute ago we had severe rain, so quite now you can see some rain here. It should be a little bumpy ride down, and hopefully it will go well. We're soon coming down to our transition level, so we're gonna change to local QNH 1017, and yeah, hopefully all turn out fine, and I will be glad to show you the approach in about 5 to 6 minutes. So as you can see now, we have gone through the clouds and there's no clouds ahead of us, so we have a clear skies. I've just pressed level change so I can control the speed of the aircraft and the vertical speed of the aircraft, because if I turn it so we fly faster, the vertical speed will go down, so it will fly a bit faster.
Check.
So we're soon at 245 knots. As you remember, we need to be under 250 knots when we're passing 10,000 feet. So it looks pretty good. See if I can bring up a chart for you guys. I'm gonna show you in a minute, so I'll be back. Just gonna show you here a little bit fast here. You can see we're coming in from this side. We'll be soon passing Modna. We're coming down here and then make a left turn into runway 36 right. So just follow me here down to Kiev airport, and I will show you how to do it. Apparently there's a little bit of clouds here, and
1017.
check. So it will be getting a little bit choppy, and I'm gonna hit the vertical speed button so I can control the descent. Or we can hit the VNAV and let the computer put us down.
1,000 to go.
Set altitude 5,000.
Altitude 5,000 set.
We can use a little bit of speed brake. So you can see it right here, like that. So we can get a little bit. Oh, there's lightning as well. Thunderstorms.
Check.
As you can see, we're holding about 240 knots, so we're looking pretty good. You can see here on the navigation display that we're going to fly Modna, as I told you before, and then make a left turn into runway 36 right. So we should be able to see. Oh, there we go. There's the airport, so it's not so far now. We should land a little bit earlier than I expected, but that's the reason tailwind exists, right? So we saved a little bit of fuel. We have 2.7 tons, and so it's totally alright. So I'm not gonna talk so much more right now. You can just sit and watch.
Yes, okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Okay, thank you.
$1,000 to go.
Check. Set altitude 2,500.
Altitude 2,500 set. $1,000 to go.
Check. Set altitude 1,500.
Altitude
So now I just pressed 4 lock
1,500
to intercept with the ILS. So now we're gonna make a turn to the left. Here we go. And we're holding 210 knots, which I think it's pretty good. Can go down to
Gear down.
1. I did not say gear down. Bringing that back up again. I can go flaps 5. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1. Cabin crew, and take your seats.
And now we're just waiting for this here to get all green, then I'm gonna press the approach. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Approach checklist. Approach checklist. So now we're decelerating. We have the airport right there. I'm gonna wait with the approach checklist until we are fully established on the localizer. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
So hopefully we'll make a good landing. Gear down.
Gear down. Localizer alive.
Check. Now you can see the green light. Oh, it's all green. And I will press the approach. Flaps 15.
Flaps 15.
And now it's active. Approach checklist. I have no idea what.
Check.
That doesn't work. Approach checklist. Set.
Approach checklist complete.
Landing checklist.
Engine start switches. Flaps 1.
Continuous.
Speed brake. Cabin crew, and take your seats.
Armed.
You might want to check
Flaps
again.
15.
Landing gear.
Flaps 15.
Flaps 15.
Flaps 25.
Flaps 25.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Down.
Standing by for the flaps. Check.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30. Flaps 30, green light, landing checklist complete.
1,000.
Check. So the autopilot and the other throttle is disengaged, so I will manually land.
Five.
500 feet.
Check. Landing.
Check.
400. 300.
Good speed.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes up.
Check.
Reverse green.
Check. Manual braking.
Check.
So there we go. Safely landed at Kiev airport.
60 knots.
Check. So now we're just manually braking, and so we can vacate to the left, and then we have a pretty short taxi to our stand. So we landed 25 minutes before our schedule, so pretty good. Okay, to clean up.
Check.
Now the first officer will change all the lights and take the flaps up and follow the procedures. Swap nav 1.
Check.
So here you can see we're gonna taxi to the first stand. So we're gonna make a left here. Then we're gonna make a first right. As you can see,
APU is online.
As you can see, the weather is pretty clear. Few clouds, but nothing too serious. Select taxi light off. Because this is the final flight today, I won't be needing the APU, so I'm gonna turn the APU off. Because we're not flying back today, so we don't need any electricity to the aircraft, besides the ground power unit. So we're just taxiing along. Gonna take stand number 1. Hopefully follow the line here. Now we're turning left.
Check.
And it went pretty well. Hopefully I will stop at the right point. It's pretty important to get it on the right. You can see there, 20 meters, 18. Hopefully I can get it on the right. I need to a little bit more throttle. 7, 6. There we go. I'll set the parking brake.
Cabin crew, disarm slides.
And I will wait just so you can say shutdown.
Ready for shutdown.
Shutdown engine number 2.
Check.
So now we just have to wait and connect the ground connections. Set, and then the ground power. I'm gonna set the ground power on. Shutdown engine number 1.
Check.
And the fasten seatbelt sign is off. And now we can say Yes.
Captain, all flights are disarmed.
Okay, thank you. And there we go. Now the first officer just turning off all the switches and turning the transponder to its normal state. I think it is 2000. And now we're gonna shut down. So shutdown checklist. Shutdown checklist.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Shutdown checklist complete.
And that's all, folks. There's only one thing more to do, and it's securing the aircraft, but I don't think you need to see it. It's pretty uneventful, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.